Welcome to the Tipsy Guest Podcast. I am your host, Marco Buenrostro, and every week I'm here with the top industry experts, amazing clients, and all my vendor BFFs to bring you the best tips, advice, and juicy behind-the-scenes stories to make wedding and event planning a breeze. So grab your favorite drink and let's get this party started! Hey guys, welcome back to the Tipsy Guest. I am Marco, your host. And today we are going to be talking about delicious stuff. And you already know him. We are welcoming back Koby.
Yes.
What is going on, man?
Nothing much, man. Just living the dream, as they say, right?
I am happy to have you back. Last time we had you, we had a great time. Mm-hmm. And there was so much to talk about that we ran out of time.
Yes, we did.
So tell our listeners who you are really quick, what company you own, and we'll just jump right into it.
Perfect. Yeah. My name is Koby Morris. I'm the owner of Southern Standard Elevated Bar Services. We are located in New Braunfels, Texas, but we travel anywhere within the state. We tend to do a lot of, events in San Antonio, Austin, Hill Country area, Seguin area. But as long as we got four wheels, we're rolling to you.
I like that. That's the way I do it too. Like if I can drive to, like we just had a wedding. Yeah. It was like 6 hours away from here from San Antonio. And I was like, 6 hours is pushing it a little bit. But they really wanted us. Like they've been following us on social media for a long time. And when they finally, picked the location of the wedding, they're like, we gotta call Marco and see if he's available and willing to drive, 6 hours away.
Yeah.
And when they reached out, I was like, girl, if you want to take me wherever, I've gone to Mexico weddings. So like wherever they want to take me, I'm willing to go. I love traveling. And this wedding was literally in the middle of the desert, right close to Big Bend. So we did the whole hiking thing. We went a day before.
Cool.
So we went hiking. We, took the dogs out there. And then, of course, the day of the wedding, we worked. But then we made it into a little weekend getaway.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. So, yeah, I like that you're, mobile services. You go wherever they want you.
We've been to Laredo, Dallas, kind of all over, man. I wish we got an inquiry for an out-of-state wedding, but our licensing only allows us to operate
Texas.
in the state. I would absolutely love it. And I was willing to get an out-of-state permit to go, bartend for them. But I told them, honestly, for what you would be paying for travel and, everything else and versus our normal services and what we provide and do, I just don't feel like you'd be getting the value that you should. That it might be better to look for somebody local. So
local.
It was a compliment.
I like that. Yeah, it just feels good, right?
It did feel good, but at the same time, I never got into this business, just for myself. I want to get into it for to help others out. My wife and I got married in 2017, so. We got to see all the things that we really liked and the things that we really didn't like so much at all.
Did you have a big wedding?
Yes, we had a ginormous wedding. It felt like it was It was right over 350 people.
Dang.
We had it at Lost Mission. I
love Lost Mission.
Yeah, it was beautiful. It was fun, and it was man, it's probably the best day of my life.
So, of course, and this was obviously before you started your bartending business.
Yes.
So, how was your experience with the bartending company that you used for your wedding?
To be completely honest with you, I have no idea.
Oh my God.
I didn't drink.
Oh.
The night of my wedding.
Okay.
Just a personal decision.
I like that. That's a really great point that we can, definitely talk about it right now, because I've always said it, having as the couple, I feel like you should not overdo it, because you want to remember the night.
For sure.
You obviously want to look your best, and if you start drinking, because a lot of the times they start drinking really early in the day.
For sure.
And then by the time they get, their makeup done and the actual photos, they look drunk.
For sure. Yeah. And it's again, it's the holy matrimony, so it's really important to be your genuine self. And I just did it out of respect for my wife.
Okay. I like that.
My and this might be oversharing, but my wife, she waited for marriage, so I wanted to be a genuine person. I didn't want to be, drunk or drinking and be under the influence of anything, other than just my feelings that day. That was it.
I like it. It sounds like you are a great person, just in general, man.
Well, thank you. I appreciate
like that. See, here's a tipsy guest pro tip, tipsy, whatever you want to call it. Hire somebody that is a good person. hire somebody that cares about what they do and somebody that's really gonna take care of you on your big day. I mean, like you said, the wedding day is a very important day for the couple.
For sure.
So it's always good to look at vendors, you know, and not just see what they do as a facade, like really look into them, you know, like get I mean, not obviously like super personal, but like, you know, try to get to know them and see if they're actually a good fit for them. Because I've heard horror stories where, you know, they hired someone and then they didn't really know the company or the person that they hired, and then later on throughout the process of the wedding planning, it just became a nightmare.
Oh yeah. So, no, for sure. And you know, to me, it's don't look, so of course, you know, make sure you stick within your budget, you know, don't overextend yourself. But don't just look at the price sheets that are being sent to you by all of your vendors. Kind of look into them to see if they match the vibe for your wedding. See if they fit the aesthetics. See if their personality is something that you want to have as part of your day and it be a memorable part of your day, you know? You know, with our bar service, we didn't pick our bar service. It was in-house through them. And, you know, I'm sure they did a great job. No one said anything, you know,
no
to
complaints.
us. No complaints, you know, all of my...
And I'm sure you would have heard complaints. I mean, it's the alcohol. So people want to make sure that they are drinking good stuff.
Oh, yeah, for sure, you know. And so, but yeah, you know, to be completely honest, I couldn't tell you how our bar service did.
All right. I mean, I do a lot of events out there at Lost Mission, and honestly, I've never had any issues. It's a beautiful venue. The staff is incredible. I love working with them. Yeah. It's you know, for our listeners out there, if you are looking for a hill country wedding, you know, like something, look, if you're not familiar with Lost Mission, look it up. It is a stunning venue. I love that place.
You know, my wife and I, you know, I wish I could relive the day over and over again. It was an amazing day. It was awesome.
Awesome. Good to hear. Good to hear. All right, Koby. So let's jump into the topic today, which is the difference between day drinking versus night drinking. Because we do a lot of brunch weddings, and I'm sure you do as well.
Yes.
So I guess walk me through the difference of, and also give us some recommendations, you know, for our listeners out there. You know, the difference of the day drinking, the night drinking, like maybe recommendations on signature drinks for both, and also you know, if there's anything specific that you love for each, you know, for night and day, throw it out there. We want to hear it all.
Yeah. So, you know, for brunch weddings, of course, you're going to want to hit mimosas. You're going to want to do screwdrivers. You're going to want to do really refreshing cocktails. Also, you have to think of it seasonally as well. Most of your brunch weddings are going to be in the spring to fall to summertime, to where it's a little bit warmer, so you get those refreshing cocktails. You know, when it's colder outside, you're going to want to go for more of sipping drinks, things that might be a little bit heavier, a little bit sweeter, things that you aren't looking for so much, you know, refreshing value in, you know. But as far as, you know, for a good brunch, like spring, summer, fall time wedding, you know, because in Texas we have like 2 weeks of cold, and that's really it, you know. And we never know which weeks those are. They could be in December or February. We just don't know. But, you know, I think it's really cool to make like a, you know, like a flavored, like a crafty type of Paloma, a ranch water bar. So we did a ranch water bar for a bride that ranch water was her thing. That's all she drank, and people knew it. All of her friends knew that ranch water was always her go-to. So we did a flavored ranch water bar for her signature. So we did lemon ranch water, lime ranch water, just original. We also did a watermelon, a pineapple, and a strawberry.
Oh, man.
And it was a hit.
That sounds so refreshing.
Yeah, people loved it, you know? And so I can't wait to get a sunrise wedding, hopefully one day. That would be so cool. I would definitely get there at 3 o'clock in the morning to start setting up.
You know, I've never even thought about that.
You know, because I think that it would be really cool to give somebody a Bloody Mary and then set aside all the garnishes to where they could pick what went into it. That would be cool.
Interesting.
I think that would be geared towards more of an intimate wedding. Maybe 75 or less, maybe. Because I could see at the garnish bar, you know, a line kind of forming, you know, especially.
That is so interesting. I never thought of something like that.
Oh, yeah. I think, you know, that would be so cool. I think I would have a great time. You know, it would be really weird getting off of work at like noon.
Yeah.
You know, because with the bar service, you're one of the first ones there and the last ones to leave. I can promise you we're one of the last ones to leave at every single event just because we're cleaning so hard and everything else. But As far as nighttime wedding goes, that's majority of what we do, right?
Yeah.
Our most common timeline of serving is, 5 to 10, 5 to 11, 4:30 to 10:30, things like that, right? And so, again, it's seasonal. When it's hot outside, your June, July, August, September, October, you're not going to really, I don't think it's best to serve your guests a smoked old fashioned, because they're looking for things that they're really hot. They've been dancing. It's humid. They're sweaty. They want things that are refreshing. So a blackberry, like a blackberry Moscow Mule or a blueberry Moscow Mule, or maybe even we have a spiked strawberry cranberry lemonade. So refreshing.
What?
That one's really good. The margaritas, of course, are always a hit. But the sippers you might want to stay away from, during the warmer months of the year. But, hey, if it's December, January, February, and smoked old fashioned is your jam, go for it, because those guests, they're not going to be drinking as fast anyways. I will say the pecan espresso martini is a hit all year round.
All the time.
Yeah, all the time. When we set up for events to sell, to the public, or we're doing a cash bar for, some type of corporate event, our espresso martini almost always triples in sales, everything else. So
that's awesome.
People love them, man. It's a labor of love, but I'm proud of that syrup that I make for it.
Nice. That's awesome. I love espresso martinis. I love carajillos are some of my favorite drinks too. Like, I love coffee just in general.
Oh yeah, big time coffee drinker.
It's so good to hear that it's one of your popular items.
Oh yeah, big time. And so our idea behind our kind of like craft homemade type of espresso martini was, I've never had one that I really enjoyed. They're all like really coffee forward and then really burn your throat, almost like you took a shot. Or they're super sweet and like milky, and it doesn't really feel like it. It's like you're drinking a mudslide or something, So with ours, I tried to find a way that you still had the sweet, but it had some type of substance. It was coffee forward, but the pecan aftertaste, and I make it with a little bit of maple in there, a little bit of chocolate sauce, some pecan praline, and we actually toast, our pecans in there with brown sugar and whiskey.
Oh, man.
And so, it brings out the flavor of those pecans, and we actually cook the pecans for so long that they turn almost translucent, like a whitish color, and all of the flavors cooked out of them. It's cool. Yeah.
That sounds really, I just want to I feel like, again, and I said this last time as well, I feel like going to one of your tasting, it's just a fun experience. I don't know a lot about, I don't do bartending. I'm not a bartender, obviously, so I don't know what goes on behind, I just drink the drinks, I'm not...
For sure. Yeah, for sure. And, that's the fun part, right? Is getting to drink the drinks.
Yeah, I just get to drink them and enjoy them. But I mean, it sounds like you guys put a lot of thought and a lot of work into every single drink that you guys make. Yeah. Which is so cool. And us, the drunk people, we just go grab them. We don't even appreciate you guys. Sometimes, we're... which brings up my next question also. How do you deal with people at weddings when, people want to keep drinking, and sometimes you have a line and you see that drunk person that gets frustrated and starts yelling and getting dramatic. And have you had any situations like that?
Oh boy, have I? Oh yeah. I've had an event to where when you're at a contracted event, especially a wedding, to where the TABC license company is on the premise for the contracted event, you cannot self-serve. So flasks, bring in bottles of your own. You can't serve it to yourself. If you bring it to us behind the bar, we'd gladly serve it to you, and you can collect it when you leave, right? But, there was one, I had caught him drinking. He had his own bottles. I told him, hey, you can't do that. And he wasn't happy about giving them to me, but he did. And they were actually staying on location there. And about 20 minutes before the wedding ended, I told him, I said, hey, man, I think that, you need to slow down. The alcohol's going back to the house in about 20 minutes. Y'all are all staying there. But I just, I kind of need you to slow down a little bit. Maybe drink some water. And he tells me, are you cutting me off? And I said, yes, sir. I said, I have to. I said, it's my job and it's the law. I'm really sorry. And he turned around, and then next thing I know, he backhands everything off the bar. Oh. And he starts reaching for me, trying to fight me for cutting him off. And I'm like, what are you doing, man? Like, I kept trying to tell him, please, you're the only one in this situation that's like going to jail, that's going to get in trouble. Like, please, like, this is not good. Please stop. Well, the cop shows up. He starts swinging on the cop. The cop pulls his taser out on this guy. And then this ginormous wedding guest came out and absolutely handled this man and threw him.
So who was this person? Was this like part of the wedding party? Or
He, to my understanding, he was the bride's brother.
It's always like the closest to the couple that create drama.
Yeah, and I hate that. That's terrible. And two, I just don't know if he was there for the right reasons,
Yeah.
And so I get it. Everyone wants to have a good time. Trust me. I see it all the time, and we give plenty of a good time. But when it's time to make sure someone is safe, I didn't get into this business to get anyone hurt, at all. We take safety very seriously. It's almost probably the utmost of concern to us. But, I will say the bigger the gentleman, the easier it is to cut them off.
Yeah.
Oh, they're awesome. Yeah, I tell them, hey, we have a really smooth way of kind of cutting people off or slowing them down. Is once we start seeing that, okay, they're like getting there, we'll give them the drink that they like, and we'll tell them, hey, can you please have a water for us by the time you come back to the bar? And depending upon how they react, it puts the ball in their court.
Yeah.
Of like, they could either tell me in a really rude way, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Or they could say, yeah, yes, sir, that sounds great. And then as long as they're willing to work with me and they don't progress anymore, yeah, let them keep drinking, as long as they're not progressing into more intoxication, right? But, yeah, we've had a couple people just really, there was this one guy, he was really big, really loud, and I was actually a little nervous to cut this guy off. And I told the police officers there, I said, hey, this guy's coming up, I'm about to cut him off. Can you please step forward and make a little bit of a presence? And he starts ordering all these drinks, and I said, hey, man, like, I got to stop you. I can't serve you anymore. Like, I don't think it's safe to serve you. And I was kind of dancing around it, right? Because I was like, this man is giant. I mean, he is like, I was looking straight up at this guy, and he was right in my face type of thing. And so I was like, man, I'm sorry, we can't serve you anymore. And he goes, can I ask you something? I said, yeah. He said, do you really think I'm intoxicated? Do I look drunk? And I said, yes, sir, you do. Like, I'm sorry. And he goes, you know what? Thanks for keeping me safe and doing your job. Bam, he tipped me $100.
Nice.
It was the coolest thing.
That's a nice, responsible person right there.
That was great. But that's a diamond in the rough. Let me tell you. I mean, there's one in every crowd. The hardest ones to cut off is father of the bride.
Yep.
Man, it's rough.
It's always, again, going back to what I said earlier, like, it's always the closest to the couple.
Yeah.
And the way I see it, it's because, I mean, at least we get it all the time in the photo booth.
Yeah.
Like you said, like the father of the bride or the mother of the bride or like the brother or whatever, they always throw the card of like, we're paying for this. So I'm entitled to this and that and that and blah, blah, blah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we always get that in the photo booth where, like, they're already...
Oh, yeah.
Drunk, and they're like, I'm skipping the line because I pay for this shit.
Yeah.
I pay for your photo booth.
Oh,
I pay for blah, blah. And I'm like, sure, go right ahead. Like, I'm not going to antagonize them. Like, I'm just going to say, like, sure, go ahead. He's like, blah, blah, blah. But they always pull that card.
Yeah.
So I feel like with the drinking, it's probably the same way. They feel like, oh, we're the ones that paid for this alcohol. Of course I'm going to drink until I pass out.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy.
Oh, yeah. And, I always make a joke, and I say that if you want to see a grown man turn into a child, cut him off from drinking. And 90% of the time, it's not received well.
Yeah.
But we always do it in a really quiet way, in a really subtle way to where it's not embarrassing for them unless they make a scene. Or my biggest thing is I don't want the bride and groom to know of any type of drama at all related to the bar. So like, that's just something that we have to do, and they don't need to lose any focus of their day knowing that somebody got cut off, So we do have a 3-strike type of policy in our contract saying like, hey, if a bartender is made to feel unsafe, absolutely like disrespected, like crazy, you can imagine, how that they would feel that way, or like they felt like they were being pushed to do something that they weren't supposed to, right?
Yeah.
They do, it's in our contract. They do have the right to say, hey, like to that guest, hey, please don't come back to the bar. This is why, you're done type of thing. And strike number 2 is if that person does it again and does not listen the first time from being cut off, then we loop in bride and groom, venue representative if they're on site, security, and a coordinator if they have them, and tell them, hey, this is the person that's doing this. This is what they're doing. We have asked them to stop and they won't. If they do it again, then we do reserve the right to pack up and go, because we can't do that. We can't feel like we're unsafe walking to our vehicle in the parking lot, stuff like that. And so, in no way should it be, anyone having to ask the security, hey, can you stick around and walk me to my car? Like, I don't feel safe. That's not very cool.
Yeah.
But
in any situation, I mean, that's just uncomfortable. Yeah. And unsafe.
There's 1 in a million, it happens. It's just one of those things that happens every once in a while, but we have ways to, mitigate that. We've seen it all, man. I promise.
I mean, I can just imagine. I mean, you guys have a really tough, job, like controlling the crowd in a way and making sure that, that everybody's safe to a certain point.
And so I will say, and not to cut you off, but the most terrifying services to me, right, are the ones to where it's our basic package, right? So we don't bring any of the mixers, any water, anything. And we show up, and when people think about stocking their own bar, right, they only think of alcohol. They don't think about water. They don't think about anything other than what is needed for their bar menu. And also, just beer and wine weddings are the ones to where people get the most intoxicated, because you can't water down a beer.
Yeah.
You can't pull back on somebody's pour into a drink. We have different ways of making people feel like they're having a really good time, and they're not having as good of a time as they think they are.
Yeah.
Pulling back on pours, putting your thumb over the breather of the pour spout to where there's some guests that will count with you when you're putting in their drink to make sure that they get enough, like they're paying for it or something.
It's so funny. Like, it's so funny to me, like all that. I mean, not necessarily funny, but it's so crazy to all the stuff that you guys go through. Like, with intoxicated people. I mean, I respect you guys, and I really appreciate everything that you guys do, to keep everyone safe at weddings.
Yeah.
It's incredible what you do. But, getting back to the brunch and the dinner wedding, because we're already running out of time. I mean, it's been 22 minutes already.
Crazy.
I know. Yeah. So, okay, give me, let's say, your favorite 2 brunch drinks. Like, what are your top 2 favorite drinks?
Screwdriver, customizable screwdriver, and customizable mimosa bar. That's so cool. It's so much fun. It makes guests feel like they have a say-so and that they have options, right? And so that's a way for the client to provide as little as possible, but maximize the offerings to the guests is things like that. Thing like pineapple mimosas, grapefruit mimosa, strawberry mimosa, all that stuff, right? That's super fun. But they're not having to provide any more alcohol. It's all the same. It's just different garnishes, different flavors, stuff like that.
With the screwdriver, I don't think I've ever had a screwdriver. What is that?
Vodka orange juice is like a basic screwdriver.
Oh, then I've had that. I just didn't know it was a screwdriver.
Yeah, for sure. But, if I have one of those drinks, I like to put some pineapple in it, something like that. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And then what about your evening drinks? Your top 2?
Man, my top 2 is either... it's so hard, right? Because we have a lot of really good ones, and it's hard because I don't really drink liquor unless I'm on vacation. I usually just drink beer at home. But if I had to pick for my wedding, I would say margarita, spicy margarita, and probably the honeymooner or smoked old fashioned, depending upon the type of year or the time of year.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're really fun. The smoked old fashioned, people call it the science experiment. It's a lot of fun.
Okay.
We make a homemade sugar wafer that goes into it that we muddle down with the orange peel and the bitters, and it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Everything sounds so good. I guess I'm just really thirsty right now because I've been talking so much.
That's so funny. Yeah.
But hey, do you on your website, can people go and look at the different drinks that you make, or is that more on a one-on-one consultation?
Yeah.
How can they find out what you're good at when it comes to the different drinks that you make?
So the best way to kind of see what our most popular cocktails are and really good photos of them and good content of them would be on our Instagram.
Okay.
We are starting to introduce blog posts to the website. So blog posts, I'm sure that's that's something that we're going to cover, right? But two, we don't want to give away too much of the fruit before, before, somebody comes in and is like, hey, I know for sure I want to use y'all. I know that let's book a tasting so that when they come to the tasting and there's 8 to 12, 8 to 10 different options in front of them, they're like, wow.
It's a surprise.
Yeah. That's like, it's so cool, It's so
just
cool
give them a peek on your Instagram account just so they can see what they're, what to expect. And then they come and actually taste the good stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Or if you catch us at a cash bar,
yeah.
You can try some of our stuff there, and so it's always fun. Sometimes it's too much fun.
Oh yeah, I mean, fun is always good, and that's what we like to have here at the Tipsy Guest. So, Koby, it's been great. It's been so much fun to have you. This is your second time around.
Yeah.
So thank you so much.
Yeah,
Can you please remind us your Instagram handle?
Yes, my Instagram handle is Southern Standard Bar. That'll be Facebook, that'll be Instagram. We put a lot more focus into our Instagram than our Facebook, but of course we do post on there as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Koby. So to our listeners out there you have it. If you're having a brunch wedding, great recommendations that he gave us.
Yeah.
If you're having of course, an evening wedding, great recommendations. Honestly, I don't know what I would prefer. I don't know, honestly. Like it's a tough one because I like day events.
Yeah.
I love, like you said, we get out early.
Yeah.
And then, evening events, sometimes we leave the venue like at 2 a.m. So it's crazy. Yeah. So I don't even know what I would prefer. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for tuning in today. Thank you, Koby, again.
Yeah, thank you.
And guys, make sure you tell your engaged BFFs to listen to the podcast. I mean, every week it's so much fun with a different vendor, all local vendors. So if you have a favorite vendor that hasn't been on the podcast, send us a DM, send us an email, and we'll make sure to reach out to them and possibly have them here next week or the next one or the next one. It's every Tuesday. All right, Koby, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, guys. Until next time. Thanks for listening to the Tipsy Guest podcast. If you know someone who could benefit from these tips, spread the love and share it with them. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. Next round's on us. Same time, same place. Cheers! This podcast is brought to you by MVP Photo Booth, the #1 photo booth rental company in San Antonio, Austin, and Central Texas.